Hello everyone and welcome back to our English grammar series. In this video, we will learn how to talk about actions happening now or around the current time. It's the present continuous tense, or as some prefer to call it, the present progressive. So, without further delay, let's jump right in. First of all, what is the present continuous? Well, the present continuous, also known as the present progressive, is a verbal tense that indicates that an action or condition is taking place now and may continue into the future. It is used to describe an action that is in progress at the moment of speaking. Well, before exploring intriguing details about this tense, let's learn how to build different types of sentences in the present continuous, starting with the affirmative sentence. The present continuous in the affirmative form is composed of two main parts. We start with the subject. The present simple of the auxiliary verb, to be, the form of the verb, to be, varies according to the subject. Am is used with the pronoun I. Is used with the pronouns he, she, and it. Ard is used with the pronouns you, we, and they. The present participle of the main verb, the base form plus ing. The main verb is invariable in the present participle form, ing. Let's consider these examples. When the subject is the pronoun I am listening to music. The subject I is paired with am, the correct form of the auxiliary verb, to be for I, and the main verb listen takes the ing form to become listening. I am reading a newspaper. Similarly, am is used with reading, the ing form of read, to describe the action happening now. When the subject is the third-person singular, he, she, or it, he is listening to music. The subject he requires is as the auxiliary verb, and listened becomes listening to form the continuous action. She is reading a newspaper. The subject she is paired with is, and reading indicates the ongoing action. It is raining heavily. When the subject is it, is used as the auxiliary verb, and listening shows the action is in progress. When the subject is you, we, or they, you are listening to music. The subject you pairs with are, and listening describes the action happening at this moment. We are reading a newspaper. The subject we requires are, and reading is the present participle indicating the ongoing activity. They are listening to music. The plural subject they pairs with are, and listening shows the continuous action. Now, let's learn how the present continuous tense works in negative sentences. To form the negation of the present continuous, we start the sentence with the subject, followed by the auxiliary to be conjugated in the present tense. Then, the negation word, not, and the main verb in the ing form. Examples: I am not watching TV. In this sentence, the pronoun I serves as the subject, am is the auxiliary form of the verb to be, not introduces the negation, and watching is the main verb in its present participle form, and. Together, they form a negative statement indicating that the speaker is not engaged in the activity of watching television at this moment. She is not watching TV. In this sentence, the pronoun she serves as the subject, is the auxiliary form of the verb to be, not introduces the negation, and watching is the main verb in its present participle form, and. This structure expresses that she is not currently engaged in the activity of watching TV. The auxiliary verb is specifically used for subjects in the third-person singular, such as he, she, or it, ensuring grammatical correctness. They are not watching TV. In this sentence, the pronoun they serves as the subject, arb, is the auxiliary form of the verb to be, not introduces the negation, and watching is the main verb in its present participle form, and. This structure expresses that they are not currently engaged in the activity of watching TV. Note, the auxiliary verb are is specifically used for the subject you, we, or they, ensuring grammatical correctness. How about the contracted form of negation? In spoken and informal language, it's common to abbreviate is not to isn't, and are not to aren't by replacing the O in not with an apostrophe. However, I am not has no direct contracted form, but I'm not can be used. Examples. For I am not working, you can say I'm not working. Note, I am not does not contract to I amn't. For he is not working, you can say he isn't working. The subject he or she or it is followed by isn't, which is the contracted form of is not. And for they are not working, you can say they aren't working. The subject you or we or they is followed by aren't, which is the contracted form of are not. Now, what if you want to ask questions in this tense? Well, in this case, you have two options. You will either use the yes or no question form or the WH question form. Let's explore how to use both of them. To form a yes, no question in the present continuous, the auxiliary to be must be placed at the beginning. Then comes the subject, followed by the main verb in the ing form. Examples. Are you listening to me? This question is formed using the auxiliary verb are, which is in the present tense and corresponds to the subject you, while listening is the main verb in its continuous form, ending in ing, to indicate an ongoing action. This question asks whether the person being addressed is actively listening at the present moment. Possible answers are, yes, I am. No, I'm not. Is he working on the project? This question is formed by placing the auxiliary is used for the third-person singular subject, he, before the subject, followed by the main verb working in its ing form, and the complement on the project, which specifies what he is working on. This question asks whether the male subject is currently working on a project. Possible answers are, yes, he is. No, he isn't. Are they making any progress? This question is formed by placing the auxiliary are used in the present tense for the third-person plural subject, they, before the subject. The main verb making is in the ing form, indicating an ongoing action, while any progress serves as a complement specifying the type of progress being referred to. This question asks whether a group of people is currently making progress. Possible answers. Yes, they are. No, they aren't. On the other hand, to form questions in the present continuous tense using WH words, place the question word at the beginning, followed by the correct form of the auxiliary to be, and then the subject, followed by the main verb in the ing form. Examples. What are you doing now? This question uses the WH word, what, to inquire about the action or activity currently taking place. The auxiliary verb, are, agrees with the subject you. The main verb doing is in the ing form to indicate an ongoing activity, while the optional complement now emphasizes that the action is happening at the present moment. This question specifically seeks information about what the person is engaged in at the current time. Whom are you talking to? This question uses the WH word, who, to inquire about the individual involved in the action. The auxiliary verb, are, agrees with the subject you. The main verb talking indicates the action in progress, and the preposition to functions as the optional complement, specifying the person being addressed. Who is calling you? This question uses the WH word, who, to ask about the person performing the action. The auxiliary verb is agrees with the subject who. The verb calling indicates the action in progress, and you is the optional complement, referring to the receiver of the call. Overall, this question seeks to identify the person currently calling. And this marks the end of the first part of our lesson about the present continuous. I hope you learned something new and useful. Keep in mind that practice makes perfect. Thank you for watching, And until next time, happy learning!